So, I did not know that I had been wearing my socks inside out all day. I just looked down now because, weird factoid, I like to drive with bare feet. It's actually easier to drive, at least for me. But anyway, so I go to take off my socks and I'm like, oh, they're inside out. I didn't notice all day. Oh, well. So, I was able to watch more videos from other creators and their thoughts about the RC stepping down. And it seemed like it was kind of a mixed bag. Like, a lot of them weren't happy. Hold on. Yeah. A lot of them weren't happy that the Rules Committee, stepped down. Although some of them are okay with WOTC taking over. And just like I thought, I guess assumed, is that almost everyone is like, that you should never threaten people. I can't believe people, like, they got bullied so hard that they left. And, and I already went over, like, yeah, that's the most, like, basic but opinion. Wow, you think people shouldn't be harassed? Color me shocked. But I understand, like, if it did happen, like, trying to pretend it didn't is just as stupid. So I get it. Like, we should condemn bad things when they happen. So all right, fine, you got me there. But, like, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, okay, let's take this step by step, wherever this leads us. So, in general, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't listen to, like, a bunch of people, but some people were okay with WOTC being in control now. And I would say a majority, but not a heavy majority, were sad about it being in WOTC's control. And I, in my opinion, think it's bad that WOTC now has control. Even though, like, they were probably only feigning any power that the Rules Committee had. But okay. My opinion is that this is not a good thing. So how did this not good thing happen? And while saying that, it's only one thing that leads to another, I don't think that's true. I'm sure there's multiple facets for every part of this, but I guess we could just go with, like, the main sources for what is what, because anyway, so let's try this out. So WOTC now has control of Commander. How did that happen? The RC seceded and abjugated, we're learning some big words today, their responsibility to them. Why did they do that? Well, their reasoning is because they got harassed a lot, or too much, or whatever. Whether true or not, that's what they labeled their reason as. Okay, why did they get harassed? I mean, it may not be for a good reason, but it was a reason. And the reason was because their recent bannings, the way they did it or what they banned, but it was them that did the banning, which led to the harassment. Okay. So they did a ban. People harassed them. They left. Now WOTC's in control. So what did they ban? Okay. Well, they banned cards that where they, a while ago said were problematic. Some of them said, even before some of the cards were printed, were like, hey, this is gonna be a problem. And then when those cards came out, like I think I remember a lot of people saying, this is going to be a problem. And it came out, and guess what? It was just another problem. But anyway, it's not like, okay, come on, everybody. It's not like, why did they ban this card? No one questions why they were banned. Again, there may have not been good reasons, but there were reasons. It wasn't like a huge question mark. We're not hawing this whole thing, okay? So why were they banned is because they were powerful cards. Okay, how did we get these powerful cards? Well, now don't try to skip a step here. Okay, don't try to skip a step. People bought them, played them. And then how did they play them? They bought them. So people bought them and played them. And then apparently it was too much. There's too many, needed to be banned. Who made those cards? Oh yeah, WOTC did. Yeah, that's right. WOTC did. So, why did WOTC print the cards? See, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Again, I understand that there's a bazillion reasons why things happen, but we're just going with like the main flow of logic here. So why did WOTC print these powerful cards? Probably because Commander is their most popular format. So if they make anything and they cater that thing to Commander players, they are going to make the most money. Okay, so I guess it's not too big of a leap to sit here and think, okay, they printed these powerful cards because they know they can make money from them. And they did. Because people bought them and played them, and then they were banned and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, now this, I'm sorry, I hate doing this. I hate listening to people that do this, so I apologize to myself and to others who have a problem when people start speaking like you're an idiot. But we're just following this trail of logic. Why does WOTC need money? Okay, well, there's many reasons for that, to be very, very fair. They need money to actually operate. Hold on, my screen went really dark for some reason here. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, it fixed itself. Sorry about that. So WOTC needs money to stay in business. Fair, true. So I guess, if we're just taking it really simplistically like that, I guess that's where the trail ends. They need money to survive, so they print these crazy cards, but that's, now we got to start thinking in between the lines a little bit, and we all know it's because Hasbro has been doing their best to squeeze as much as they can out of WOTC, because WOTC is their cash cow. And when Commander is the cash cow of Magic, WOTC is going to... Everyone's squeezing their cows right now, okay? There's so much moo-moo milking that's going on. Anyway, all right. So we all know it's because Hasbro is trying to get as much money out of WOTC, who's trying to get as most money out of Magic as they can, because obviously D&D ain't making them a lot of money. So we all know that's why. So Hasbro, and more specifically the shareholders, just want money. None of the shareholders care about the toys or the products. They don't care. They need WOTC to make money, so WOTC prints these powerful cards, which people then buy, then they play, and then people in the rules committee are like, hey, these are kind of problems, or we think they're problems, so we're going to ban them. People get upset because people like these shiny, powerful cards, got mad at the RC, complained, and then the RC said, this is too much for us, and then gave it up, and now WOTC controlled it. You got all that? Is that a ideal logic? Because I hope I don't need to go over why Hasbro needs money. Why do the shareholders need money? At that point, I don't care. If you want to keep going deeper than that, that you go for it. I'm done. But so how things ended up in the hands of WOTC is obviously a multi-chained event with more than the reasons that I listed. But I hope you notice in that chain, there's us in there. There's the players. So, and it's not just the people that complained to the RC, and obviously it's not the people who had constructive criticism. It's the people who were assholes about it. Okay? Obviously. But if we as players really didn't want these cards, we wouldn't have paid for them, we wouldn't have played them, etc. So we did play a part, not just the a-holes, but we normal Magic players who played Commander and liked the powerful cards that WOTC printed, we are also to blame for this whole cycle, okay? Now, if you want to figure out the percentages, go for it. It doesn't matter. The important part is we're part of the pie. So whenever someone is linking this, the only reason the RC gave up is because people were dicks. While true that it's true that that's part of it, it's not the entire thing. It's not the only reason. And so people that are saying, congratulations, now people think that all you have to do is bully someone and they'll do the thing that you want because we bullied them enough. Well, to be fair, cancel culture is a thing, okay? There is such a thing as harassing, bullying, threatening someone enough to do something they did not want to do. Like, that's a thing, okay? It does work. Don't sit here and say it don't work. It do. But I do agree that is not a proper way to do things. Bullying people obviously isn't okay. That's what it's just... Anyway. So I don't think the precedent that's a good precedent to stand on. Like, no, while maybe factually true, the RC did get bullied enough to step down. I don't know if they got bullied into banning those cards though. And and also something like poor Olivia, like, she was against the bans in the first place, and then she was against the RC giving up their responsibility. So I hope she puts out something, a video or something. I will watch it. Bless her soul, man. Like, this must be like some of the worst weeks she's probably ever had to go through, at least when it comes to a freaking hobby, man. And also, like I said, like, if anyone on the RC wanted to quit for any reason, like, don't even give me a reason. Just wake up one day, say, I'm done, and be done. Like, you're not subjugated to do this, okay? So any of them could have any reason to leave. But them just saying, yeah, and obviously not everyone, obviously not all of them. This was never a 100% thing. Just imagine if the bans were 100%, because Olivia was fine with Nadu and Dockside going away. That was 100% as far as I can tell. What if those were the only ones banned? Would any of this have happened? Think about that. Would the RC have been bullied enough, according to people, to have left? Would people have complained about losing all of that money? No. And then, of course, people were like, well, it's good that, it doesn't have to be unanimous. Like, it should be by democratic rule. The majority should have the vote. I'm just... but if it's unanimous, that means everyone agrees it's a problem. And there's only 5 of them, okay? It's not like 500, okay? I get it when there's that many people being unanimous about anything is, like, impossible. But 5 people? 5 people can't come to a conclusion? Aren't juries supposed to be, like, unanimous in their voting, and they can do it? And there's, like, I don't know, at least 10. At least double. So poor Olivia. And even with this decision, this huge decision to just dismantle the entire committee, and you can't even get a unanimous vote on that? Like, oh my God. So frustrating. Yeah, like what I was trying to get to, which I've already said before, which is like ask other people. Go to Josh Lee Kwai and say, hey man, a couple of us want to leave. Do you want to fill in? But they didn't do that. And obviously it wasn't an agreed upon decision. How are they making these decisions? How are they talking to each other? And one point, I don't even know if I'm going to get to all my notes today, but one point I did want to make, especially when WOTC's like, we're going to make sure that this is a community effort. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's so not true. You know, I can't make an analogy, but we all know that's not true. However, think about this. What if the rules committee posted their meetings? Just like they had a powwow or whatever you want to call it, every month or so. Just take a couple hours every month to talk on a Discord chat. Upload it to YouTube, let people post about it. So we can see how they talk and how they make these decisions. That would be way more community driven. Even though, of course, they're technically representatives that we as the community selected, even though I had no idea who they were. But having the community actually see what's going on, that'd be, transparency. This thing that has just, left this reality. What is transparency? What does it mean to be upfront and honest about your decision making? Nah, that doesn't exist. It's because we sure as hell know it doesn't happen with WOTC. I'll eat my inverted socks if WOTC's like, you know what, when we start thinking about our banning and our committees and stuff, we're going to let the community watch. Just watch. You don't even need to be influenced by them, but at least watch and talk about it. Ugh, so many things could have been avoided. But anyway, this is the reality we're in now. WOTC is in control. They're just going to make everything tier 4. And then, okay, that was another big thing I really wanted to talk about. The tier system or whatever they're thinking of, it's a joke. Some people I listened to today were like, it's actually a really good idea. All you have to do is base it on cards. You have this card, it's a tier 4 card. Yeah, maybe, I don't, what's a tier 4 card? Especially when someone brought up this in the live event that WOTC did yesterday. What about combos? These two cards suck on their own, but together they're an unstoppable duo. Are they just going to automatically be in tier 4 because of it? I don't know. But God, it's okay. You know what it does? People are like, oh no, there's only going to be one ban list and it's going to apply to all of them. No, it's not. You're making tier lists based on a card, meaning you're making 4 separate quote-unquote banned lists, meaning you can't play in tier 3 if you have a tier 4 card, because in tier 3 that card is quote-unquote banned, not allowed, can't play it. You're making it, you're quadrifying it, you're making it way more. Don't sit here and say well, okay, there's going to be one ban list to rule them all, obviously. There's going to be one that supersedes all of them, but you're making 4 different ban lists, my guy. And the other thing, what the heck is going to be the difference between a tier 2 and a tier 3? Especially when tier 1 is supposed to be pre-release? Or, pre-constructed? Pre-made? A pre-con? What is the difference between a 3 and a 2? Who knows? Will it matter? Honestly, are all decks going to be 3? They're all going to be 1, which is pre-con, 3 or 4, which is going to be essentially CEDH, And in my brain, that's the only one that'll matter. I'll sit down, I'm like, are you playing the tier 4 or the the competitive? No, okay, well then everything else is the same. 1 through 3 are all going to be mushed together because 1 through 3 are all going to be normal commander, casual commander, whatever you want to call it. It's just going to not be competitive. That's all it's going to be. The flavor differences between the other 3 categories are going to be meaningless. See, but the thing is, okay, the RC and WOTC were making this stuff up together, meaning even if the RC was still in control, this is their garbage idea that they were going to throw at us. So it wouldn't have mattered. Ugh, man. So yeah, people that are championing this, you're going to have to convince me harder, bro. I don't understand it. I do not agree with it. It's going to make things more complicated. It's not going to solve anything. It's going to change very little. But I mean, I guess it's easier to point to a card than, oh, it feels like it's competitive. I don't know. I'm sure people are still going to sit down and like, okay, is it a stacks deck? Is it a land destruction deck? Is it a mill deck? Like, I don't think it's going to stop that at all. And if you say the wrong word, someone's going to be like, oh, I don't want to play because you have that deck. I'm like, okay. Also, I am exhaustedly tired. Did not get sleep last night. Hence why I didn't even pay attention how I put on my socks today. Oh, all right. Let's see what else I had on my notes. Someone had an interesting idea. I think it was Desolator Magic who said, like, how about we have 2 formats real easy and no bans on either one? The only thing is, one you can play tutors, one you can't. You can fetch for lands, that's it. So a non-tutor format and a tutor format. I mean, you know what? That's a nice starting ground. It may not be perfect, but that's a nice starting ground. Because obviously competitive people are going to want consistency. They're going to want fast things. They're going to want their tutors. So you can have all the fast mana card draw you want, but if you can't dictate which card you get, then it's a little more random. It's a little more casual. It's a little more what the format is supposedly supposed to be. So, you know what? I'm with him on that one for sure. And of course, do we really need a ban list, especially when we have the big backbone of Rule 0 anyway? Which, no, I'm surprised no one asked at the Q&A yesterday with WOTC. Because I would have been like, are you guys still going to be leaning on Rule 0 more? Or are you just going to be like, no, we're going to do this tier thing? I don't know. I'm sure they'd say, yeah, sure, yeah, Rule 0, and that Jewel Lotus. We advise you to do that for sure. And of course, they discuss possibly unbanning things, which I hope they do. I'm unban it all. Hit that button. They're not going to, but yeah. And then of course the whole like people who were like so gung-ho about the RC being champions for us. Oh, they were just so brave and powerful and now they're gone. And no, I discussed that like in one of my first videos, that if they really truly wanted, their agenda was like, we are stopping fast mana now, like that, we need to stop these shenanigans now. Ban Soul Ring, that's it, just Soul Ring. Leave the dumb Docksides. I will now do still should have got banned, but leave the dumb Docksides, the Mana Crypts, the Jeweled Lotus. Ban Soul Ring. That would have affected way more in what their goal was to do, because even though their goal was, hey, we're just trying to ban fast mana, the only thing they really did was affected competitive players and card shops, people who hold a lot of those chase cards in inventory, which just got blown to smithereens, although not as bad as we all thought, but still not good. Okay, that's the actuality of what happened with their non-unanimous vote to ban Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt. That's what happened. The best intentions, that's the path paved to hell, or whatever the hell that quote is. Like, that's what it is. You could have the most goodest intention. That's not what happened. I don't know if because they didn't think about it enough, they didn't understand it enough. Again, I'm assuming they are logical people who understand the format, who know things. They're not just making, decisions off the seat of their pants, and that they can actually think things through. So I'm going with that understanding, meaning they understood it would be a major hit to competitive and to store owners. And they did it anyway, okay? Again, I'm assuming they're smart, not stupid. And I'm assuming, I guess I don't want to assume that's what they wanted to happen, but they had to know that's what would have happened. So that's what happened. And yeah. That's something you're going to have to live with. Now, if they would have banned Soul Ring, of course WOTC wouldn't let them. I know that's the reason why, but let's just pretend that they're trying to do this goal, which is reduce fast mana, and they're the big bravados going to stand up to WOTC. They would have banned Soul Ring. They would have. Everyone uses Soul Ring. It is way more, it's going to be in more casual games. Shut up. It's going to be in way more casual games than Mana Crypts and Jeweled Lotuses, okay? And guess what? Soul Rings don't cost that much. So even if, card shops had a bunch of them, like bunches of them, it would have been way less of a hit than Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus. So, yeah, it would have achieved their goals. It wouldn't have hurt the people that I'm assuming they didn't mean to hurt. But they didn't. Okay? So don't forget that, all right? There was a clearly best option, and they chose not to do it. So don't sit here and tell me that they were the champions of justice or whatever, because they were not, all right? All right. And another thing about if they do start unbanning cards, which some people that I was listening to were talking about, like, hey, since they're even mentioning the fact of unbanning cards, why don't you start looking up those banned cards, especially ones that don't cost too much, and just buy a bunch. Yeah, especially if they're only a couple cents each, just buy like $5 worth of these cards, because, hey, you never know which one's going to get unbanned, and then guess what's going to be worth lots of money now? Isn't that interesting that unbanning stuff, allowing like things to flow in the market, will actually add value to things? It's kind of nuts. I think so. It gives options to players. It gives money to, investors, whether that's a person or a storefront, or my phone will dim, either one. But I just find it kind of crazy that the less restrictions you have on something, the more value there is in it. I mean, and I understand, well, what is it? Well, what if these things start taking over formats, which is totally possible. Totally possible. You could have more crazier things happen, but you know what they're going to do? It's a tier 4 card. You don't like it? Don't play tier 4, because that's a ban list. That's a separate ban list off our other ban list. Just if it's too powerful, shove it in tier 4. So, which again, it's just so stupid. So I could have an ancient tomb, 98 lands, and my commander. Tier 4. God, it's so dumb, so stupid. But hey, if you're WOTC and you want an easy way to unban cards, get some of that, get some of that value going, to sell, to print more of, to sell some packs. Hey, that's a really nice system you got there. Oh. Hey man, maybe they're playing 4D chess. I don't know. Some people are like, they were planning this from the start. WOTC was edging them to make this terrible decision so that they did it, and then they take all the flag, and then they get dismantled, then WOTC takes control. This is all in the system. This was planned from the start. The aliens told them to do this. Those damn WOTC globalists. So, yeah, it's just funny. Oh, maybe I will get through all my notes today. It's just because I'm tired. Another thing I heard harping from some people, again, who were just like way too aggressive about the whole, I can't believe people made death threats, and sure, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. And I personally don't know the extent of how real those were, but I'm assuming that most of them were just farts in the wind of like, man, I hate you, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Are you now? Are you now? Wow, I feel threatened. You know. So what I'm saying is probably a majority of them aren't true. They weren't real threats. There's people being pissy and, you know, bitchy and wanting to release their anger in the way the modern world knows how to, which is make angry tweets. And that's how much they should have been taken for. But again, I don't know. But someone was saying, like, I can't believe people quit this game because they just banned a couple cards. Like, why do you care so much about these cards, bro? Like, didn't you play with other cards? There's other cards to play. And, you know, that's not, maybe, like, it's more or less the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing. It's like, you invested so much into this format, into this game, and you tried so hard to get these cards because you just, hey, they've been around for a couple years, you know, it doesn't seem like anything's going to happen with them, so I'm going to put my money and my time into this game, investment or not. And, you know, but then out of the blue, literally out of the blue, oh, you can't play with those cards anymore. Oh, you just wasted all that money. Oh, whatever. You know, we're just trying to fix the format, guys, and these really powerful, rare cards that not everyone has, like only a couple people, yeah, we gotta ban them. I wouldn't blame anyone either, even if this is the only occurrence of this happening. But this isn't the only occurrence of this happening, and it's more or less the possibility of it happening more. So I totally understand why people would quit. And it's not because, like, specifically that one card's gone or whatever. It's because the trust is gone. Like, there's so many things that could have played differently. If the rules committee would have been like, hey, we're thinking of banning, like, we've been having discussions. These cards are popping up a lot. You know, we're going to be making a banning soon. Speculate. You know, at least there's a little warning. There's a little, like, the market, yeah, people are still going to sell off. People are still going to panic, you know, it's going to be, but it wouldn't be legit. It would just be speculation. So then those people were like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to my card. You know, if it gets banned, okay, fine. I get that now. But if it's going to be out of the blue, it's almost a complete miss. Well, like, they're on the target board, essentially, but they are nowhere near the center when it came to those bans. If we're talking about Jewel Lotus and Mana Crypt, Dockside was probably more on the mark, and Nadu was just a given. So, and it's, honestly, to me, and of course, I have my, well, that's fucked. Sorry. Oh, I see. Okay. A major road I take is literally closed, and it looks like a power line went down. So, okay. Well, a long way home. That's okay. Like the real long way home. Wow, that one sucks to be closed. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. All right, I know I have my own opinions, like what I wish would have happened, what I think was a better idea. Like, I have my own opinions. I still consider myself just an observer. Because, like, what am I going to do? Who am I going to call?
Like, what effect am I going to have? You know, me, myself, and I, like, oh, you could totally influence a lot of, yeah, okay, sure. So I don't like telling people what they should think. You know? People can think the way they want to think. I'm going to have my own opinions about it, and that'll be kind of it, you know. Can you get there from there? I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to go down my normal roads. I'm going to go down the road I knows, which is going all the way. Anyway. But I still consider myself just an observer. Like, oh, that happened. Okay. Oh, that happened. That's crazy. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. I don't know. I'm here to vibe, bro. I'm here to chill and vibe. Life is an experience, just a really long adventure. So, I don't know. I'm just here to enjoy what I can and do the things I like doing. So as an observer, it's kind of crazy just how chaotic this whole thing has been, and like the widespread spectrum of opinions. Like, people, like, I mean, honestly, like, I'm glad. I hope things are unbanned. That's what I want. But I didn't want the RC to be disbanded, even though they were opting for more bans. It's a crazy opinion to have, but that's my opinion. And it's interesting to see everyone else's opinion be kind of just as nuts, honestly. So, yeah, it's just kind of weird to see that. And yeah, I guess it's interesting, and I'm glad it's riling a lot of discussion, I guess, about it. And I know again, the trust thing does suck, to be fair. You know, people lost a lot of trust in the rules committee, and now, you know, Lord knows how little trust people have in WOTC, and now that they're in control, like, if someone's throwing up their hands now, it's like, yep, I understand, man, for sure. And to be quite honest, like, I don't even know what I'm going to be excited for anymore when it comes to Magic. Like, I'm not sure. Like, Foundations, I think, is the next set coming out before next year. Granted, it's October. It's not like that's a big deal or anything. But Foundations will be coming out, and that's going to be a set geared towards Standard? I don't even know what that format is anymore. Highly doubt anyone plays that. But but that's what it's going to be geared towards, so not me. I ain't going to be playing it. I did want to get into Standard on Arena, because fast red decks are my thing. That's my jam, man, which is very strange because I play Commander where it's not really a thing, man, and they just banned my best card, man. I ain't been in anything here, dude, and of course, no one likes turn 2 winning, but hey, I do, so. And again, it's strange that I don't play competitive Commander, but Commander's a social format, not a competitive one to me. Hence why I like it even more. I like social games more. But if I'm going to be a competitive player, I like fast games. I like, how many games can I get in this half an hour? Especially, again, antithetical to Commander. I know, but still. That's just me. I'm a very weird creature. I like to play with dualities a lot. Opposites attract me for sure. I like the sun and the moon. I like the light and the darkness. Ooh, I'm getting all birdie now. That's what I like, though. Ugh. So yeah, sorry. I would actually be home by now. But, one road, that is the worst road to be closed around here, especially with all the other closed roads, because construction season never ends. And I'd get it. I'd get if it's like a big city or something,
or like a larger town, which is kind of what we are, but like it's a bit ridiculous, to be fair. Excuse me, that's gross. Sorry. And I guess it's in the okay. I get the problem now. It's because in this town that isn't too small, but we're not huge either. There's only like 4 main roads. Like, you want to get A to B, you're going to be touching one of these roads in your travels, okay? So shutting down any of these roads is just catastrophe, because getting around it is like 5 other directions you need to go to get around. So they don't close these roads down to get them fixed up, cleaned up, and they're not going to be widening or working on other roads to be offshore routes either. So it's just a kerfuffle. It's been a kerfuffle since I've moved here, which was over a decade ago. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Future of Commander. At least I guess as much as it pertains to me. I was interested in being in competitive, and I listened to some more competitive YouTubers talk about their thoughts on the bannings, and they were actually pretty level-headed about it. They said, like, okay, while banning Jeweled Lotus does get rid of the diversity of commanders, so fewer commanders are viable now, which is, like, I can understand why that's bad. But apparently, and this is a shocking thing to say, but apparently the color green in competitive was the worst color. I know. It's, what? I couldn't believe my ears, but when they started to talk about it, it made sense, because playing artifacts for fast mana was, like, hands down the best thing. And that's just not what green does. They don't really do that. They don't really go into treasures are that hard, because they're mana rampers and they're mana dorkers. And unfortunately, mana dorkers and mana rampers are too slow for competitive. So green was just poo-poo, not good. But with the banning of these 2 cards, some of the bigger fast artifact rampers, green actually got a little boost. And with green having a little boost, it gave a little boost to mid-range, which was desperately in need because the fast decks were taking over. So with the mid-range decks coming in, it can slow down the turbo decks, which can then give some breathing room to control, which, turbo decks overpowered greatly. So they said, like, in an odd way, it actually was healthier for competitive commander. So now that the actual strategies when it comes to the competitive rock, paper, scissors trifecta thing, it actually helped that out a bit, because it made green a bit more viable. Okay, fair. If that's true, then maybe I will look into competitive again. And hey, it's cards I don't need to be concerned about proxying for, even though I'm just going to be proxying the other ones that are now getting more pricey. So, shocker, no shocker type deal. Oh. And, like I said, I don't know. Like, I have my own decks that I'm going to be playing with, tweaking, working on. And I still want to get rid of a couple of them, to be honest. Because although I work at a card store, I don't get a lot of time to play. And I normally only show up to the shop because it's an hour away from me, just so you know. It's an hour there, an hour back. That's 2 hours out of my day just to be there. I usually only show up for events, and at least half my time there, if not more, is the event. So I just don't get a lot of pickup games and stuff. And I mean, I could start showing up at the card shop that's more local to me and play, but it's just a little bit, it's very, very much a hole in the wall. Like, to be fair, I haven't been in there in months, so maybe they've cleaned up a bit, but they were said, like, They were still painting the walls. Okay, that wasn't even done. They had like the most eclectic assortment of plastic tables and chairs, and like they had like no duplicates. Every table was different. Everyone was from like a garage sale. Even the chairs were heavily used and from somewhere else, and again, not all the same. The play area was like maybe 5 tables that it's kind of squished together like lunch tables type thing, and they had like maybe 3 booster boxes to sell, like in some singles. So it's just it was just not a very welcoming place, and I understand the plight. The owner is a mill worker, and this is what he loves to do. He really wants to run a hobby shop, but he's trying to do it with a full-time job on top of it. So the hours are short. They're only open for a few days a week, and like I said, it's just not great, and it's unfair. It's unfair because the card shop I do go to and work at, beautiful, gorgeous, just an open environment, a whole area just to play with these beautiful wood tables, sturdy, comfy chairs. They're right next door to like 5 different fast foods and a nice like sort of upscale bar. Then they have a whole set, obviously they have their magic stuff behind the counter, but they also have a library for manga. Like you can borrow manga if you want, but they also have like shelves, a bunch of shelves set up for if you want to buy manga, like borrow manga, buy manga. They even let you trade in manga if so say you read it and you're done, bring it in, we'll buy it back for a discounted price, of course, but then spend it on some more manga. Like, it's super cool. There's also lots of tabletop games. He's got a library. Again, if you don't know how a game plays, interested, he has it in the back. Try it out. You like it, then you can buy it. And then, of course, the other half of the shop is Warhammer stuff, tabletop war games. Like, this place is freaking awesome. Okay? So if anyone is anyone local to central Wisconsin, so this is, it's located in Marshfield. It's called OMG Games. But if you're in like Stevens Point, Wisconsin, Rapids, Wausau, Appleton's a little far, okay? Green Bay's a little far. But yeah, if you're anywhere in that location, like I said, I drive an hour just to get there. But it is so worth it. The shop is great. So yeah, I would love it if I could be there more and play more. And the people there are awesome. It's very clean, and of course, since I'm working there, it's gonna be clean. You know it. I don't work in filth, honey. I clean that bathroom. I sweep those floors. That place is spotless. But yeah. So like with the limited times that I do play Commander, I like maybe 10 decks max. Like I have like 15 now, and it's like hard for me to rip open some of these because I spent so much time making them, and a lot of them are themed and they have certain cards, and I'm just sitting there like shedding a tear. Like, I put so much effort into you, but I will never play you. Your intended purposes will never be, foretold or done or whatever. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to anything right now that WOTC is coming out with. Bloomburrow was like my jam. I could do Bloomburrow all day long, every day. But it's gone now. It's done. It's Dustborn now, and I'm not really into horror stuff. So it's like, meh. That doesn't mean I won't, still buy singles and everything. But I'm just not going to be real interested in anything coming up. Maybe get a single or two. I don't know. But I still want to play. I want to play with all these decks that I got, that I spent money on, Yeah, so how does this affect me? I don't know. Maybe they'll unban cards, and maybe I'll get interested in that and play with those, because I have some band cards for sure, because I'd be like, oh, this is a cool card, I want to keep it. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna keep playing. I'm not gonna quit. I understand if someone does, though. As far as the tier thing goes, I'm gonna do my best to just like wave it off. Like, okay, are we playing competitively or not? Like, that's all I care about. I have a couple decks, like 2, that are pretty good. They're pretty consistent, is what I would call them, but they are not CEDH, you know. They'll win by turn 5 at max speed, you know, like, that's as competitive as I get, okay? Or it's very stacksy or something, you know, like, whatever. So I don't really care if they do their tier list. I don't care. If someone wants to play the most cracked shit ever, go for it, dude. I'm here to play. I'm here to have a good time. Just sit and enjoy being around cool people is why I play Commander. I could play a pre-con, the same pre-con all the time. I might get a little bored, to be fair, but I just enjoy the environment, all right? That's why I play. So I really don't care who's in charge. Ban more, fine, whatever. I will still play. And hopefully more people are like that too. They like the game enough to where they'll just enjoy it. They'll find ways to enjoy it regardless of who's in control or trying to mess it up or whatever. But anyway, I am home finally, and I hope y'all take care.